is Rebecca Lim, and I'm going to be answering Exam 5, Question 2B. So, earlier this week, a woman named Rona was found dead at her best friend Cora's house. The police investigated the crime scene and found a murder weapon with fingerprints buried in the backyard and 4 pieces of DNA, all from different suspects. These samples of DNA were sent to the forensic lab, and these are the results. So, in order to determine the identity of the murderer, a VNTR DNA electrophoresis gel was run for all 4 suspects, including the victim's DNA and the DNA sample. Bands themselves are DNA that have been separated based on the number of base pairs contained within that DNA. So, smaller fragments of DNA move further down the gel, ending up closer to the bottom of the gel, while larger pieces of DNA having more base pairs remain closer to the top of the gel. The purpose behind testing multiple loci is to ensure that there are more than one replicates in order to confirm who exactly is the murderer. The loci are selected by characterized mutation rates and diversity. The bands of DNA displayed on the gels from loci 1 and 2 must match the DNA found on the VNTR electrophoresis gels in order to confirm the identity of the murderer. Rona, of course, does not match the DNA bands of the fingerprints lifted off the murder weapon, as she is the victim. This can be seen by looking at the gels, as her bands do not match whatsoever with the bands of the DNA sample. Fuzzy matches the DNA sample of loci 2. However, he does not match the sample seen on loci 1, meaning that he is eliminated as the culprit, as he does not match both loci of the DNA sample for both gels. Fuzzy's dad does not match with any of the DNA samples. However, he does share one band with Fuzzy in both loci and gels, confirming that he is indeed Fuzzy's father. Although knowing that he is related to Fuzzy is not conducive to finding Rona's killer, we do, however, narrow down the number of suspects by eliminating Fuzzy's dad as a possible killer. Pizza Guy's DNA does not match the DNA bands of the murderer's fingerprints for both loci 1 and 2, only matching for loci 1, leading us to conclude that he is eliminated as a suspect. Cora's DNA bands seem to match perfectly with both of the sample DNA bands found on the murder weapon for both loci and gels, meaning Cora is ultimately the person who killed Rona. After the police investigated further along with the VNTR DNA results, the story goes that Fuzzy and Cora are married, and Fuzzy was having an affair with Cora's best friend, Rona, behind her back. Cora, hurt and upset by her husband's act of betrayal, invites Rona over for a nice afternoon to chat and catch up, but then murders her best friend in cold blood by gashing the back of her head with a wrench. Cora then stages Rona's death like a freak accident and pretends to confide in the pizza guy who was bringing the pizza Cora ordered nearly 30 minutes before she killed Rona, explaining why the pizza guy was a prime suspect whose DNA was found at the scene of the crime. Fuzzy, Cora's husband, absent from the scene, was out playing golf with his group of friends. His DNA was, of course, at the crime of the scene, as he is the owner of the home. Fuzzy's father's DNA was also gathered at the scene of the crime, as he helped Fuzzy fix a broken fence at their home earlier that week. Thanks to the VNTR DNA gels, Cora was confirmed as the murderer and was taken away to jail for committing her heinous crime.